Welcome, celestial mystics, wealthy wizards, and prosperity magicians. Class is now in session. And so we'll jump right in, chapter one, the very first section, and I'm going to paraphrase what you see on the screen there. Whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. Okay, mystics, can we pause right here for a second? Wattles is saying something that aligns perfectly with what I've learned and lived for years now. You weren't born to inherit struggle. You were born to break patterns and expand the promise. That's straight from my book. Divine Favor Activation to Break 11 Generational Curses. This idea isn't new to me. It's one of the core truths that helped me transform my life. And when I first heard Nicki Minaj say in her song Fly, I came to win, to fight, to conquer, to thrive. Listen, I felt that in my bones. That's not just a lyric, that's a spiritual declaration. If that resonates with you, you're already aligned with this work. You can grab the book on Amazon KDP. Just search Divine Favor Activation to Break 11 Generational Curses. It's free if you have Kindle, or you can check the link in the description below. All right, let's move on. Once again, we'll paraphrase this part in chapter one. You grow mentally, spiritually, physically by using things. And in this society, having access to things requires money. So if you want to grow, you must understand how to receive wealth. That's why the foundation of real advancement is the science of getting rich. Let me make this plain, mystics. Wattles is saying you can't grow your soul in isolation. You need resources, books, tools, healing, space, time. And in the world we live in, those things cost money, bread, moolah, luchi. I remember a friend of mine once said, I was so broke, I felt like life itself was draining out of me. Then someone gave her $20, and just like that, she said it felt like the energy of life came rushing back. She felt alive again. Now, was that just about the $20? Not at all. It was about having access again, the power to move, to breathe, to choose. This is why we study this science. Because when you understand how to attract, hold, and multiply wealth, you are literally unlocking your growth, not for ego, but for elevation. Now let's take a look at this next section of chapter one, which basically says all life exists to grow and develop. Every living being has the inalienable right to reach their full potential. For humans, that means having access to everything needed for full mental, spiritual, and physical growth, which is, by definition, the right to be rich. Now, this right here, this is one of my favorite lines in the whole book. Wattles is saying that the purpose of life is development, and you have a divine right to everything that helps you expand. That includes your mind, your spirit, your body, your lifestyle. And that reminds me of what I call the four of wands lifestyle: perfect health, abundant wealth, perfect self expression, relationships that are love based, and fair exchanges of energy. This is also what Florence Scovel Shinn calls a squared life. And honestly, that's exactly why I became an 1111 coach. I'm not just a tarot reader or a mystic, I'm an alignment coach. I help people align with their core frequency of abundance so they can live this Four of Wands lifestyle on purpose, not just by accident or luck. When you possess these four pillars, you're not just wealthy, you're envied by systems that rely on your depletion. That's why the right to be rich isn't just about money. It's about your right to thrive in every dimension of your being. When you possess these four pillars, you're not just living, you're living richly. You're walking in wealth that can't be stolen or faked because true wealth is wholeness. And here's something for you to reflect on right now. Which of those four pillars do you feel most disconnected from? What would it look like to restore that area with divine support? Take a moment, circle it in your workbook. Breathe into it and delete the false belief. And know this: you have a divine right to all of it. You have the right to be rich, not just scraping by, but thriving with an enormous and consistent cash flow that supports your needs and your desires. You have the right to a strong, radiant body that fully supports your beautiful spirit and sacred mission. You have the right to relationships that are love based, emotionally fulfilling, and rooted in mutual respect and energetic fairness. And yes, you absolutely have the right to perfect self expression, to be seen, heard, and valued for who you truly are. You weren't put here to settle. You were born to align, expand, and receive. Moving right along, we're almost halfway through now. I hope all of this is beginning to make sense to you. If not, check this out. Wattles makes it clear this book isn't about metaphorical wealth. Being rich doesn't mean settling or pretending you're content with less than you're capable of having. Nature itself wants you to expand. To be content with less than your full potential is actually a form of spiritual sin. Now, listen, there is so much to unpack here, so let's take this piece by piece. Waddles isn't talking about rich in some abstract symbolic way. He's saying you deserve the fullness of what you're capable of receiving and enjoying. And that brings me to scripture. In Second Thessalonians 3:10, Paul says, "The one who is unwilling to work shall not eat." Now, this isn't just about physical labor, it's about spiritual stewardship. If God gave you gifts, talents, and a vision, and you refuse to develop them, use them, or multiply them, you're not just blocking blessings, you're withholding life from yourself and from others who need your brilliance. That's why Waddle says to be content with less is sinful, because nature is always trying to grow you. And when you settle, when you shrink, when you dim yourself down, you're saying no to your own divine assignment. And here's our moment to reflect. Where have you been pretending you're satisfied with less when deep down you know you want more? What gift or calling have you been hiding out of fear or doubt? Write it down in your journal, circle it in your workbook. This isn't about greed, it's about God given growth. You are not here to settle, you're here to rise. Let's keep going. Take a look at the next two sections now. Here it basically says a person is truly rich when they can afford everything needed to live their fullest life. But in today's world, that requires more than just getting by. It takes real wealth. And every person naturally wants to reach their full potential. But to do that, you need access to tools, spaces, and resources, which means you need money. Becoming what you want to be requires wealth. Can I be brutally honest now? Being rich means having the money to live all the life you're capable of living. And in the world we live in now, that takes more than just enough. I'm not talking about excess for the sake of showing off. I'm talking about resources to support your body, your mind, your art, your calling. And Waddles is clear you can only become what you want to be by making use of things. And guess what? Things cost money. Even the most basic life today, food, safety, healing, expression, requires cash flow. So, why are we still feeling guilty for wanting to be rich? Every single one of us has a God planted desire to reach our full potential. That's not ego, that's divine design. So let me ask you something. If wealth is the access code to your fullest life, why wouldn't you learn the science of it? What would your life look like if money were no longer a barrier? What dreams have you put on hold because of money? What version of you is waiting on the other side of abundance? Write it in your workbook. Sit with it. Because you weren't sent here to scrape by, you were sent here to become. As Bishop E. Bernard Jordan teaches in The Laws of Thinking, life is a continual process of becoming. You're always in motion, always being shaped by your thoughts, your faith, and your inner image. You don't just get things in life, you become the kind of person who attracts them. You're not here to chase, you're here to evolve. Every moment, you are either becoming more of your divine self or defaulting into limitation. There's no standing still in the spiritual realm. You're either expanding into your next dimension or shrinking into yesterday's version of yourself. Bishop Jordan puts it like this: you will always be becoming. There is no such thing as arrival, only unfoldment. That means your riches, your healing, your success, it's not a destination, it's a becoming. And the real magic, you get to choose what you become. You get to command the image, speak the word, and walk in the vibration until it manifests. So don't settle for scraps when you were sent to sculpt legacy. You are here to become the evidence of divine abundance on earth. Okay, we're more than halfway through now. I hope I didn't lose you. You're more than welcome to leave comments below. In fact, I would love that. Even if I can't answer your question, maybe someone in the community will be able to help. We're in part 7 now. It says here, understanding the science of getting rich is the most essential knowledge because the desire for riches is the desire for a fuller, richer life. That's not selfish, it's natural. Not wanting abundance is what's actually abnormal. Let me say this loud and clear for the folks in the back. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be rich. That desire in you, it's not greed, it's not ego, it's your spirit reaching for more room to live, breathe, create, and give. Wattles says it plain. The desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, more abundant life. And that desire is praiseworthy. It's time to stop making excuses for wanting more. You're not crazy. You're not greedy. You're not broken. You're simply someone who is ready to live abundantly. And let's flip this around for a second. If you don't want more for your life, more beauty, more health, more joy, more impact, that's the real issue. Because abundance isn't unnatural, lack is. You were wired for expansion. And you know what Esther and Abraham Hicks says? You must be selfish enough to align with who you really are. That means choosing joy, clarity, wealth, and well being on purpose, even if others don't get it. Because when you're aligned with source, you're aligned with supply. So now let me ask you, where have you felt ashamed or afraid to admit you want more? What would you claim today if you truly believed your desire was praiseworthy? Who told you it was wrong to want more? Are they living the life you want? Write it, claim it, delete the false belief, because desire is a divine signal and yours is sacred. Okay, we're going to paraphrase like 5 sections here with this. We live for the body, the mind, and the soul, none more important than the other. Real life requires full expression of all three. Poverty blocks your ability to live fully. Your body can't thrive without good food, safe housing, rest, and care. Your mind can't expand without time, books, beauty, and inspiring conversations. Your soul can't express love if you don't have anything to give. Poverty keeps your body tired, your mind empty, and your heart frustrated because you can't express the fullness of who you are when your basic needs aren't met. To live fully in all three, we need resources, especially money. Wattles just gave us a spiritual blueprint, and this one is worth sitting with. We live for the body, the mind, and the soul. None of these is more holy than the others. You need all three to live fully. That means your body deserves nourishment, rest, safety, and beauty. Your mind deserves stimulation, learning, inspiration, and peace. Your soul deserves connection, joy, giving, and love. So let me be real with you. If you're only feeding your spirit but ignoring your body and your bills, you're out of balance. If you're chasing degrees and building your brand but neglecting rest or emotional support, you're still not whole. Wattles says it clearly. Desire is possibility seeking expression. Lack is not noble, it's suppression. Let me take this deeper because this is something I say all the time as your 1111 coach. Alignment is wholeness, and wealth is alignment made physical. It's not just about having money, it's about having what you need to bring all of you forward. And you can't live fully in body without food, comfort, or rest. You can't live fully in mind without books, beauty, or quiet. And you can't live fully in soul if you can't give to the people you love. Love wants to express itself by giving. But if you're in survival mode, you can't give, you can't build, you can't show up the way your soul desires. And that's why you must reject any theology, mindset, or generational script that glorifies poverty. Poverty cuts off your expression, it shrinks your energy, it disconnects you from the flow. So now, which of the three areas, body, mind, or soul, feels most neglected in your life right now? What would it take to restore that area to fullness? What lies have you been taught about wealth and wholeness that you're ready to cancel? Write it out. Destroy the false belief. You were designed to live richly through every part of your being. Oh, wow. Look at that. We're at the very last sections now. We're just about complete with the entire chapter. Here, it basically says material things are how we nourish the body, grow the mind, and unfold the soul. So, yes, it is right and natural to want to be rich. Studying the science of getting rich is not only good, it's necessary. Ignoring it is a failure of duty to yourself, to God, and to others, because the best way to serve the world is to fully become who you are. Let's go ahead and shut down the guilt one more time. If you've ever been made to feel like your desire for wealth was wrong, Wattles just called that a false belief, and we're here to destroy it because he said this clearly. It is in the use of material things that you live fully, grow deeply, and unfold completely. And let's be real. How do you access those material things? Money. Not just getting by money, but real divine abundant overflow. So, yes, it is perfectly right that you desire to be rich. It's not greedy, it's not selfish, and it's spiritually accurate. He even says that giving your best attention to the science of getting rich is not just helpful, it's the noblest and most necessary of all studies. And here's where he takes it up a notch. If you ignore this science, if you downplay your potential, you're not just letting yourself down. You're failing in your duty to God and to humanity. Because the greatest gift you can offer this world is a fully activated, wealthy, resourced, aligned version of you, the real you, the healed you, the overflowing you. That version of you is what brings glory. That version of you is what breaks cycles. That version of you is your greatest offering. So, my fellow mystics, where have you made your desire for money small, just to be humble or accepted? How would your life and your service to others change if you embraced wealth as a sacred duty? What version of yourself is waiting on the other side of this activation? Write it, feel it, destroy the false belief, because the best way to honor your creator is to make the most of your creation. Now that you've completed chapter 1 of the masterclass, it's time to do more than think differently. It's time to break spiritual contracts with beliefs that no longer serve you. We're going to do something simple but sacred, a burn bowl ritual to destroy the false belief that poverty is holy, that desire is selfish, or that you're not meant to be rich. Here's what you'll need: a fire safe bowl, something metal, ceramic, or glass will suffice, a small slip of paper, a lighter or matches, and a safe space to light something on fire where you won't be disturbed. Write down one of the lies you discovered when you reflected on the questions from the workbook. Next, hold the paper and say, I destroy this false belief. I release it from my mind, body, and soul. Then light the paper and drop it into the bowl. Watch it burn. As the flame rises, so does your permission to live freely. Step 3, replace it with truth. Say aloud, I have the right to be rich. My wealth is a blessing to me, to God, and to others. To download the full ritual as a printable guide and get bonus tools from this masterclass, check the link in the pinned comment below.